Yeah.
No.
Boom, we're live.
Boom.
We're live.
Episode 53, MMA Complete, 2 days out from Conor McGregor Poirier 3.
Yep.
UFC 264 right around the corner. If you didn't check out our podcast last week, we went in depth with our greatest UFC fighters of all time, and it was our most successful weekly podcast ever. So
Nice.
definitely go check that out on
some.
MMA Complete
Give me
Podcast.
some.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
It was fucking awesome, by the way. You
Oh,
can
it was
still
so
check
much
that
fun.
out.
Yeah, and we have it posted on nakedsports.com with all of the top lists that we each had. I did your guys' top 15, and I did my top 50. So go check that out, and then go check out the podcast at MMA Complete Podcast and our Twitter at Complete_MMA, which we'll be live tweeting this Saturday when we go live 8 to 1 o'clock for the UFC 264 as we do for all pay-per-views.
Hell yeah.
It's a good time. Check it out.
Hell yeah.
So what I was just saying, I want to get into real quick before we start the actual going over the pay-per-view. Conor McGregor and Stephen A. Smith had an interview. I think it was today.
It was
this
today.
morning.
It was a couple hours ago.
It was kind of interesting. It was funny. Stephen A. said that it was the first time he was not dressed as well as the person he was interviewing, which I thought was funny. Conor is always swagging, you know how it is.
Yeah.
But in the interview, a couple things were said. One thing was said about Poirier, where Conor McGregor said, this was given out and this was given out, and he didn't do this. And now in the trilogy fight, it's all about what Conor's taken. He's just taking it all.
Or what he wants.
Right. Which, that's just something you say. I don't put too much credence into that. But in the same interview, Stephen A., and a lot can be said about Stephen A., as far as he doesn't really know MMA a lot. And I think we can all agree on that. I mean, he knows it as well as a sports journalist would, but he's not expert in it.
Yeah, he doesn't know the sport and
Right.
all its inner workings.
Him and Joe Rogan have gotten into tiffs because...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's it.
That Cerrone incident.
So...
Do you think Joe should be doing it in the interview? Or Steve?
No.
Well,
I think Joe Rogan has enough money. He doesn't want to do anything he doesn't have to do, and I think he deserves it. I think that's
should
the
it
only
be
reason.
like DC or
Well, I'm sure
Or like-
part of what it is Stephen A. is
or Dominic Cruz?
Stephen A. is a journalist, the top journalist for ESPN, and now
for
ESPN has the rights for UFC broadcasting, and I think that's what.
Oh
it
yeah,
was.
no, 100%.
But in the interview, what I was going to
Saying,
say,
like, would it be
say what you want about Stephen A. and his ability and his knowledge in MMA, but as far as a journalist goes, and I consider myself a journalist. I think you guys can consider yourself journalists. I think we really all are sports journalists at this point. Stephen A. is a very good interviewer. He gets into people's faces and he asks tough questions.
Yeah.
And he's
funny.
So
Good memes.
after Conor had said that thing about Poirier, he said, "Is that why you lost last time? Is that why you lost? Is that why you think you're going to win next time?" And Conor was like,
That's some balls.
yeah. He was like, yeah, I think that's why I lost. I think that's what I'm going to do differently. That was a good question. But then at the end of the interview, Stephen A. asked Conor about Khabib.
Okay.
Conor says that Khabib has nothing anymore and he's out of the sport. That's what Conor said.
Baiting that other mega fight.
Yeah, but he's.
They do perhaps
How many-
personal hatred towards each other.
How many times he tapped? How many times he tapped?
Conor also said
3 times.
that he's not a celebrity. Quote, "I am no celebrity. People mistake me for the celebrity. I break people's faces for money and bounce."
Hell yeah.
That's what Conor says.
It's funny.
I would disagree with that statement.
That's his job. He's a celebrity, obviously, but this is part of his act. Every single
Right.
move that he makes is part of his act.
I completely agree, but I would say that he is much more of a celebrity than a mixed martial artist these days.
Yeah.
Just these days. And I mean, we're going to get into it later, but we've talked about on the podcast before that I am the one person I believe in the MMA Complete crew that doesn't think Conor's going to win this fight. And I think that because over the last 3 years, I would say that his skill and questionably his drive, and I don't know him, so I can't really say what his drive is like, but I would say it's gone down considerably.
It's a big statement to make.
Honestly, but I get where Zach's coming from. Because at the time where he first knocked out Poirier, he was working his entire fucking life, at least since he was 14,
Right.
Yeah.
at doing this.
Mhm.
And then he's had the 3 years kind of wishy-washy on and off,
Yeah.
fucking around with boxing and stuff.
Well, he
And
looked like a
Poirier
boxer.
all this time has continued fighting.
Yeah.
Well, I think we all can. I think you you're the only one that thinks he's not going to win, but we can all agree that he looked like a boxer his last fight. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
I would
Yeah,
absolutely.
So-
but he's kind of always looked like that. To be fair, he had a karate stance when he first started, but he's always been a stand-up specialist. For
kicks.
sure.
Yeah, of course.
He always threw more kicks. Like if anyone, I thought Connor was going to kick Poirier, not
Mhm.
Poirier kick Connor. So
Yeah, I would expect to see
he's got
a lot of head kicks from Connor this time.
If he thinks he's going to be able to check every single leg kick, he's fucking not. So I mean,
I
he's
think-
going to be. He's going to have to eat 5-6 leg kicks.
So
Like,
I rewatched the
I agree
second
there.
fight.
He is going to have to eat some.
I rewatched the second fight, and it's interesting to see the fact that Poirier hit Connor with like 2 leg kicks in the first round. And then in the second round, he hit him with like 3. It's not like he was Adesanya Vittori and he was landing 30 leg kicks.
That's crazy. That
He landed like 5 or 6 the whole fight, but
yeah.
they were the right timing, and
Perfect.
Connor wasn't expecting it.
location
and it-
too.
Fucking worked. And so I think leg kicks will not be a huge factor in this fight.
I think they'll be there as a threat
Right.
to bait a takedown or something.
Poirier's going to try and take him down.
If Poirier can level change with leg kicks and takedowns, I think he'll be really successful.
I think that's his move.
And
He'll be
honestly,
successful.
and Connor's ground game isn't terrible.
No.
It really isn't. He's good off his back.
I mean, look at Khabib.
He struggled for 2
Yeah.
rounds on the ground.
And Khabib fucking ended up getting him down the final time with,
Yeah.
with the right hook.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
I don't think that was the final time. I think the right hook that sent Connor to the ground was in the second round.
Khabib's a different animal, though. We're comparing Khabib to
Right.
Poirier. So, I mean,
And Khabib, you can say whatever you want about Khabib's wrestling. He's the greatest wrestler ever in UFC. No one's going to debate that. I mean, people might debate it, but no one's going to argue against it.
For the
But-
division, he's the best ever.
Cardio and pressure wise, Khabib is probably second to none. As far as just
Well,
you
it's-
never get a second. You
his
don't get any
entire
space.
style.
Right.
Like that makes sense. And
Uh,
that fucking the way he manipulated the cage with his wrestling was the best part about
Yeah.
him. And the fucking leg wrap. That
The leg wrap is ridiculous.
that thing is awesome in real life.
It's what do you do? You can't turn your body.
No.
And if you are trying to turn your body, he'll just let you to get your back.
Yeah, and then
It's so easy.
if you don't push off and you're not constantly fighting this heavy fucking pressure,
right.
then this dude's just gonna slide right to mount.
And he's just gonna beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
He's gonna make you tap or he's gonna knock TKO.
Khabib's a nightmare.
He absolutely is.
MMA, you're going to see a lot more jiu-jitsu, like a lot more people with black belts and stuff. I think that's
Yeah.
like the new generation of mixed martial arts. Is
Kids that have been training since they
Yeah.
were 4.
yeah,
It's true.
So we do have a bunch of good fights on this card. Only 13 fights on this card.
yeah. A lot of fights announced this week too.
Oh, for upcoming. Yeah.
Upcoming fights.
But a lot of really prominent fights. And
Yeah.
we usually see like a 15, 16 fight pay-per-view. This one only has 13. And I would say like 10 of them are I'm interested in.
yeah,
I'd say so too.
And that's a really good percentage.
maybe
Maybe
like-
interested isn't the right word.
but like you know the names of
Yeah.
and you're willing like I'm willing to watch all the fights on this fucking
And
card.
either like 10 of these fights, people are fighting for contention in the top 15, or they're fighting for a top 15
yeah.
spot.
It's an important card. You're going to see a lot of moves in divisions and a lot of moves in the power pound for pound rankings.
Right.
Yeah.
So before we get into that, I just want to have a quick shout out. Go check out nakedsports.com. Naked Sports is hosting Yard Olympics, first annual summer event this Saturday, Warwick, Rhode Island, Goddard Park. It is fueled by Yard Sports, like horseshoes, cornhole, bottle bash, ladder ball. We have home run derby. We have a putt tournament.
That's
We
awesome.
have giant Jenga. There's going to be board games.
A massive trophy.
have-
I saw that.
Massive trophy. That's really sick. I'm glad you saw that. First place team. So people are joining in teams, and you and a teammate run through a bracket tournament system, and you get points if you win. You don't get points if you lose. And at the end, you get the top 4
You're not
teams,
gonna be
and then
winner.
they have a little thing. So the winning team gets a 6-foot trophy, and then second and third place get bronze and silver medals.
Me and Dylan are pulling up. I got to talk to Dylan.
Right. And so it's going to be a really cool event. It's like 11 to 3 p.m. It's supposed to be great weather. It should be a good time. We have tons of food and drinks from so many sponsors. So go check out nakedsports.com for Yard Olympic information. I just wanted to have a quick shout out. We're going to take a real quick commercial break, and we will be right back with UFC 264 predictions.
Whatever.
All right, boom, we're back. So we have UFC 264 this weekend. The pay-per-view starts at 6 p.m. The early prelims. Prelims start at 8. Main card starts at 10. Main event is somewhere around 12:30. Like we said earlier, there's a lot of big name fighters and a lot of fights that matter. And I would expect nothing less from a Conor pay-per-view. First of all,
For real.
that's just what we're accustomed to. We saw the same thing at UFC 257. Saw the same thing.
How much does this pay-per-view cost?
$70, I think, is what they are.
$70?
Yeah, they're all $70.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it's more. If it,
Right. No, I think
Conor,
with
like
ESPN,
a Mayweather or something, or
with
Canelo.
because UFC has the rights, or ESPN has the rights for UFC broadcasts, I'm pretty sure they just have it 70 across the board. That's if you have an ESPN Plus account. If you don't have an ESPN Plus account, you can buy it. It's like $120.
100. Whoa.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Right.
rough, but that partnership
Right.
makes sense.
ESPN, it's so much to be a diehard UFC fan. ESPN Plus is $10 a month. That's $120, and then they do like 15 pay-per-views at $70.
You do get a lot of content for that.
Oh,
ESPN
they got
Plus.
ESPN
No, you do.
archives. They got every UFC fight.
Loads of content there.
Which I've talked to you about this because I got Hulu
Mhm.
and I got ESPN on.
Yeah. Because ESPN is owned by Disney.
Sponsor us.
Yeah.
Disney is
ESPN.
like Disney Plus. You get ESPN Plus, Hulu Plus, and Disney Plus. That's what the combo is. Yeah.
Sponsors.
Why not?
Yeah. Sponsor us,
Um,
Disney. That'd be sick.
I forgot what I was saying though.
You were talking about Hulu archives.
Oh
of
yeah.
ESPN.
Like rewatching every single one, and then doing like an article
Mhm.
on every single event, main event, pay-per-view. Not the fight nights and stuff. That's
How many
too
can
much.
we go back? How many do you think you can name off the top of your head?
UFC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
No,
6, 7.
Well, how? All right, so we can just do this real quick, but
you
264 McGregor Poirier.
Yep.
263.
I already forgot, dude.
Paul
Burnout.
versus no wait, Adesanya
263 is
Silva?
Adesanya Vettori.
Oh,
You're not even burnout, man.
I ain't
262
Wow.
is Oliveira Chandler. 261, I believe, was Usman Masvidal 2.
Yeah.
260 was that
Don't look at
Stipe
me, please.
Ngannou.
I don't know.
Stipe Ngannou, I believe. 259 was Adesanya Blackowicz.
Yeah.
rest in peace.
257, and I'm forgetting 258 right now. 257 was Poirier McGregor 2. 256 was Figueiredo Moreno 1. 255 was Figueiredo Perez. 254 Khabib Gaethje. 253 Adesanya Costa. 252 Miocic Cormier 3. 251 Usman Masvidal 2. No, 1. Usman Masvidal 1. I can't think of 250.
Exactly.
And I can't remember
Good on you,
258.
we can't remember 263.
I can't remember 258. What was the
This kid's
pay-per-view?
on 250.
What was the? Oh, that was Usman Burns. 258 was Usman Burns, and I can't remember 250. 250 would have been.
Khabib Gaethje.
Oh, 250 was Ferguson Gaethje. That was the one right after COVID. 249 was Adesanya Romero, and that was right before COVID.
What was the Khabib one? 240.
54.
That was 54.
That was November. Khabib's last fight was 9 months ago.
Wow.
Fucked up.
It seems longer than
It
that.
doesn't seem long. It seems like
way
3
longer than
years.
Anyway, this is not what we're here for. All right, so let's go over some of the prelims. The prelims, there's like 2 good fights and 2 fights that I'm not too interested in. So we got Yao Zong Hu versus Alan
Say
Amadovsky.
that again.
Yao Zong Hu.
Who?
Middleweight bout, Hu 3-2, Amadovsky 8-2. And then we got, I always have you pronounce this last name.
Oh, you want me to? All right, hang on. Maybe we should have me try to pronounce the names first, and then you go after.
I mean, sure.
Zach with the accurate pronunciations.
I can even Yang Zong Hu and Alan Amandovsky.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the.
I was
30. I know, but 6'2" height for who?
Wow, that's a
6'2"
big
for
advantage.
You know,
middleweight,
for
yeah.
5'8", you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But this guy's got a 2-inch reach advantage on him.
Right.
How does that
So
make sense?
Weird. That's a weird.
So when
build.
they say, so this isn't 6'2", it's 6.2.
Yeah.
So that's like 6'1", and then 5.8 is like 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah. So he's.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
It's
Oh.
So
still
it's like a 2-inch height advantage for Hu, but a 2-inch reach advantage for Amadovsky.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Okay.
All right, but this guy is who I was gonna have you pronounce. You've done it before. Try it again.
Zagos. Zamgolov. Zumoago. I don't know.
Zhalgas Zhumagulov
Zumagolov. Yeah.
versus Jerome Rivera. Flyweight bout.
Hey, I couldn't say that.
Zumagulov 13-5, Rivera 10-5.
We'll call him Zhaozu.
Big reach advantage for Rivera.
5.3. This guy's
Flyweight 5.5 reach advantage.
For 125, dude. This guy is very
That's a
tall.
big reach.
That's a very tall
That
125
is a
fighter.
Big
but
flyweight.
experience,
Well,
bro.
Zumagulov only has 3 more fights. I know he's 6 years
Really?
older, but he only 13-5, 10-5.
Oh, I thought you meant 3 more fights, and I'm like, the guy's only 32. I wonder if he's got like jiu-jitsu or something, because this guy is kind of
Go ahead, say it.
Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
He's from Kazakhstan. Let's go.
Kazakhstan.
His face looks.
Zumagulov on a 2-fight losing streak.
Yeah, I don't know the people that he lost to either.
And then getting into the big fights. And literally from here on, there's only like one fight that's not interesting.
Yeah.
Omari Akhmedov, who was last fight, he was on a 3-fight win streak, but he lost to Chris Weidman.
Yep.
I want to say that was back in like February. Versus Brad Tavares, one of the longest vets. He's been in the UFC for 10 years.
Yeah, he's only 33 though. You know.
These
inch
guys are
reach.
both right on the outskirts of the middleweight top 15. They're probably like in the 23 to 18
early
range.
prelim. That's pretty crazy.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's this fight's so
If I'm not
stacked.
mistaken, I think Omari Akhmedov that was good. Omari Akhmedov. Give myself a pat on the back for that one. I think he is the favorite to win.
Akhmedov, I would not be surprised. Akhmedov was on a good tear before he lost to Brad Tavares.
Chris Weidman.
Before he lost to Chris Weidman. Thank you. He's fighting Tavares tomorrow or
Yeah.
Saturday.
Oh.
Maybe that's an omen, Zach.
People have been hammering Brad Tavares, and Brad
really?
Tavares is the favorite.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
that.
So,
Just
I mean,
switch up.
people have been hammering Akhmedov, so that's weird.
People hammering Akhmedov. Okay.
Yeah,
That's an old shirt.
I
Zach.
whatever I just
This
said.
is from the 80s. This is my dad's shirt that he gave me. Cheech and Chong.
That's fucking badass.
That is
Sick,
badass.
right?
Used to wear it to school.
Right. Jennifer Maia versus Jessica Ai is a good fight in
That
the
is a
UFC
great-
women's flyweight division. I believe both of these girls are pretty highly ranked.
Jessica Ai is coming up, isn't she?
All right, Jessica Ai is 7. Jennifer Maia is 4.
Yeah, wow.
So that's a pretty high flyweight bout. We do know that
Is this early prelims?
early prelim still.
Wow.
So as
That's a
of
great
right
fight.
now,
Top
Valentina
10 fight.
Shevchenko has just recently beaten Andrade, and she beat Caitlin Chukagian before that. So Lauren Murphy's probably next up. But if
Lauren
Jennifer
Murphy-
Maia were
She's
to
gonna
beat
get knocked down.
Jessica Ai, she's going to be right up there too. So this is actually a really big fight in the women's flyweight division.
Yeah, this is an important
If
bout.
Shevchenko fights Murphy, Shevchenko by KO, I'm betting the deed on
Lauren
it.
Murphy.
Yeah, against Lauren Murphy.
I would-
bet
I
the deed.
like Jennifer Maia. Jennifer Maia.
Jennifer Maia. Yeah.
Oh no, I'm wrong. Jennifer Maia fought Shevchenko before Andrade. Jennifer Maia was the one that beat Shevchenko in the first round on the ground,
Oh yeah,
and then Shevchenko took her down the whole rest of
we
the fight.
remember it now.
So I like Jennifer Maia on the ground for sure.
You like Jennifer Maia?
Mhm.
Yeah, she's the favorite.
And then getting into the bigger fights.
You think that
and
goes over or under? I'm sorry to cut you off again. Over or under?
over. I'm just always going to say
Exactly.
women's fights tend to go over.
It's-
There's not a whole
it's
lot of
huge.
knockout power.
It's huge.
And then looking at this prelim fight, I just want to say the prelim only has 4 fights.
Giles is fighting.
And I would say that you could have a
Whoa.
fight night just of these 4 fights. Like this could be a main card of a fight night. The prelims.
Yeah,
I like Trevin Giles.
yeah, that's true, Carlos.
There
Carlos
is-
Condit on the prelims versus Max Griffin too. Like
Mhm.
Max Griffin's up and coming, dude.
exactly, that's kind of surprising.
Yeah.
We watched him fight.
Yeah, I like Condit, so he's going to be a test
you?
for. No,
I
like,
liked-
I mean, I like Condit
Oh,
as
okay.
a fighter, but it's going to be a real test for Max Griffin. You could say Condit's past his time because he is a fucking old generation.
He's got to be 37, right? Yeah, 37 years old. Max Griffin, 35, though.
Oh, okay.
Carlos Condit's taken a lot more damage to the head.
Oh.
I will say that.
32-13.
Carlos Condit he might have been in the craziest war in welterweight history.
Versus
Robbie Lawler.
That's who I wanted to say. Didn't Robbie Lawler had fucking brawls with
Rory McDonald.
Yeah.
That was the most notable one.
That is one of my favorite fights of all time.
Yeah. Robbie Lawler. Breaking news.
Oh right, yeah.
Nick Diaz.
It's in the works.
In the works.
And you know what's crazy?
You know
They've already fought in Strikeforce.
This
2005.
I thought it was 2003.
Some shit like that. Right?
That's
Like-
fucking nuts.
Oh God, I don't know.
They're old.
Neither of them have
Both
fought. No, actually, Robbie Lawler's fought in the UFC not too long ago, maybe only a year ago.
It's going to be shooting for a co-main event spot too.
That's kind of ridiculous. I don't like that.
As of right now, I think this is rumors.
So Robbie Lawler is one
Per Dana
of
White.
6 in his last 6 fights.
From Dana White
It's
himself.
hard to
But
believe.
look at Robbie Lawler's last fights. Neil Magny, Colby Covington, Ben Askren, Rafael Dos Anjos.
All by
he beat
decision.
Cerrone and he lost to Woodley. And before that, he was beating everybody.
Robbie Lawler had a good
When did
time.
Robbie Lawler has a really good loss resume.
Yeah, like tough bastards.
The fight against Ben Askren was kind of fucking dumb.
Was
Yeah,
he on roids?
Dude, he dumped Askren on his head and got. It was that should have been a no contest. The way it was called.
Herb Dean fucked it up.
Yeah, that was one of
He did.
Herb's biggest fuck
Mhm.
ups.
But then Colby Covington absolutely wrecked Robbie Lawler, and Neil Magny
And
fucked him up.
Neil Magny is kind of disappointing to see fuck up Robbie Lawler like that. Like
Right.
Kobe's up in there now.
So Robbie Lawler's 37.
Unanimous decision against Neil Magny.
He lost. to
That's
Neil Magny.
questioning. That's question. That's
How old do we think Nick Diaz is?
38.
37.
Oh,
So not a whole lot of difference in age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's only 37, man.
these dudes are beat the
Guy's
fuck
been fighting since what?
since Pride.
It was 2004 in UFC when they fought, and Nick Diaz knocked him out in the second round.
UFC 47. Wow.
That's crazy. Nick Diaz knocked him out?
Yes.
Wow.
That was back in Robbie. That's when Robbie had hair.
Yeah.
That's
Robbie
when that
Lawler,
was.
yeah.
Yeah. That was right after Strikeforce.
He took the path that Joe Rogan took.
Yeah.
So we got so that's coming in the next couple months. We'll let you know. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at @complete_MMA to see when the fight gets announced, because we will be breaking when that does get announced.
Yeah.
But going on to the prelims, UFC 264, like I said, fucking crazy prelims. This is really good prelims. And
Solid for him.
And we will be watching every single one of them, live streaming it.
2 of these fights I am really interested in. Okay.
You can watch.
I'll be at a sports bar likely.
So let's get this one out of the
Me
way
too,
real
yeah.
quick, because I don't know either of these guys. I guess you know Trevin Giles a little bit, but Trevin Giles versus Dricus
bet on it.
Duplessis.
Yeah.
Talk to me about
Giles
Trevin
versus
Giles.
Trevin Giles. Don't know much about him.
Okay.
28, 6 foot, 185 pounds, 74-inch reach. Oh, he's got 2. He's not the favorite to win this fight, which is interesting. So I want to know more about this guy.
Duplessis.
Yeah.
Duplessis 15-2, Giles 14-2. Duplessis will have a 2-inch reach advantage.
I have not seen Duplessis fight yet.
Yeah, me neither.
No.
I don't
not
even
ever.
I've heard the name Trevin Giles.
Yeah, well, we bet on him one time, I know, and I think he pulled through for us.
Oh, there you go.
His
Yeah, he
last
did
3
pull through.
fights
Oh,
have
he
been
pulled
wins, all via, well, actually, 1 via KO and 2 by decision.
Okay.
Against Roman Dolce, Bevan Lewis, I know that name, and James Krause. Nothing crazy, but all UFC wins.
I'm gonna have to go Trevin Giles, man. Like I think
He was beaten by Gerald Mearshart.
when
Oh, that fucking guy.
August
That
3rd,
fucking
2019.
Gerald Mearshart and Tanner Bozer will forever live in MMA Complete infamy.
oh
Yeah.
wait, Plessis got beat by Gio Mershon?
No, Trevor. No,
Trevin Giles.
thank you.
By how?
It was via submission.
Guillotine.
Yeah.
I
You
like.
hammering Duplessis then?
I am.
He's had 3 wins though. I think I think he is getting on a roll, man. I think he's getting on a roll. Even though one of those was by
Giles?
split decision. No, yeah, Trevin Giles. Sorry.
Yeah, I like. I still like Giles, but fuck Gio Mershon.
In the
Hey,
next
if you want to come on the pod though,
in the next 2 fights, in the
He's
next
so
2
tough
fights,
for you.
I'll tell you why.
these fights have the potential of being Performance of the Night awards. I really believe so. Ryan Hall versus Ilya Tuporia in the featherweight division is super interesting.
Sub of the
Okay.
night. I'm calling it.
Okay.
Right, I
For
think
either
so.
one.
Yeah.
Tuporia, 10-0.
What?
10-0, 23 years old.
Who is?
Oh.
Tuporia, Ilya Tuporia.
Really? No.
Ryan Hall is 8-1,
8-1.
and I think he's
Ryan
30,
is
he's 36.
a fight.
Ryan the Wizard has knockouts, by the way. Yes, I
Mhm.
think 2 knockouts in the UFC.
He's also 36, a lot more experience.
World champ, right? Nogi
I have no idea.
Jiu-Jitsu, I believe.
Who? Ryan Hall?
Yeah.
But Ilya
This-
Tuporia is
oh,
very well rounded.
He trains with Gordon Ryan.
Well, he's Ryan the Wizard Hall.
Yeah. Bro. Ryan Hall. He's gonna win this fight.
I got Tuporia.
Okay.
I think Tuporia will someday
Hey.
be a featherweight championship contender.
I have always bet on undefeated fighters. That's what they want me to do.
Mhm.
They want me to
Well, Tuporia is the heavy favorite.
See,
Heavy.
Ryan,
Heavy.
This is crazy. Ryan Hall has 275 victories in jiu-jitsu competitions via submission.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's just a cool stat, I think.
That's pretty nuts.
I think so. That's fucking crazy.
Adesanya
That's
doesn't
like
have that much.
almost double our grade.
That is, yeah.
Adesanya doesn't even have that many.
Yeah.
Want to know who does almost have that many? Francis
Dude,
Ngannou.
he needs to fight Paul Acosta again, man.
Americana's just a kaboom.
Yeah. He
He literally just forces his arms down and breaks it.
What do you
actually,
think
he's never
is
gonna knock out
Adesanya's
one
nemesis? I know we're getting off track here.
Adesanya's nemesis?
Yeah, but he came out and said it's Robert Whittaker.
I
disagree.
It depends on how you claim nemesis. Is nemesis your biggest rivalry or is it your biggest contender?
Adesanya's nemesis.
Rival.
His biggest rival? Does it have to be someone he's fought?
Yeah, that's good.
If it has to be someone he's fought, I would say John Jones. But if it has to be someone he's fought,
Yeah, but they
obviously
kind of
he's never fought
squashed
John
it.
Jones.
They kind of squashed it after he lost.
Vittori?
It-
Vittori?
I just don't see Vittori leaving him alone. Like,
He had 2 really good fights against Adesanya. He lost both of them. He did, which he claims he won both, but he lost both of them. But
well,
they
he's
were
a
good
little delusional,
fights.
But yeah,
Vittori.
Vittori's really good. And honestly, I can see
I
at
like
some
Paul
point
Acosta.
Vittori going to light heavyweight, by the
in
way.
time, yeah, he's a big
Yeah.
fuck.
I totally could see that.
I don't know how he'll handle against guys like Jan Blachowicz. though.
Right, but if he can get some muscle and take some
Dominic
time,
Reyes, though.
if he can get some
Those
Dominic
type of
Reyes.
guys.
Okay, no.
Fucking Jiri Pachaka.
listen.
Whoa,
Listen.
that
We watched that fight. Can we agree that Dominic Reyes took one of the biggest ass whoopings we've ever
bro,
seen?
How did he get knocked
Kept
out?
coming.
How did he get knocked out?
Not
bro?
only kept coming, but rocked Prochazka in the 3rd round.
Dude,
Rocked him.
Dominic Reyes is a motherfucker.
He
man.
really is.
He's
Prochazka's
got a chin.
going to be light heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
I really think
He's-
that.
Yeah,
he's
and when
amazing.
Dominic Reyes fights him again, it's gonna be a fucking
Dominic
war,
Reyes, I
dude.
think, is going to have one fight before he fights him.
No, when Prochazka, yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Let's do.
He's the number one contender right now, Prochazka.
Yeah, but Glover Teixeira is fighting Blachowicz for the title in September.
Listen to Ryan Hall's names that he's had for
Okay.
wins. Artem Lobov,
Oh, he beat fucking BJ Penn, Lobov, and
Ray Maynard, BJ Penn, Darren Elkins, even
Mhm.
who's or Darren the Damage Elkins.
Darren Elkins was the other one. Yeah, I know.
Who's
Well,
this?
he beat a 39-year-old BJ Penn. He
Let's
beat
be
a
honest,
37-year-old Gray Maynard.
BJ Penn's been getting knocked down. twice.
Anyone who beats Artem Lobov, though, I'm like, okay, I know, I see you. I totally see you.
yeah, he's best
Lobov is I can't believe we didn't put him on the GOATs list.
dude.
Yeah,
no.
because someone tweeted that at us.
If we were to not do UFC, if we were to just do MMA, Lobov would be up there.
yeah,
He
he's
really
badass.
would be. He's a fucking, what was he? What promotion was he? Was he fucking Strikeforce? Or
I'm
no,
not sure.
he's just a he's not jiu-jitsu, is he? Or is he Muay Thai?
Artem Lobov, I think he's a striker. Holy shit! Listen to the stats from this Cub Swanson fight: 123 strikes landed by Lobov, 209 by Cub Swanson.
Wow.
Wow.
It's a fucking.
He's just
banger.
gotten old. Back in his heyday, he was nice though. But yeah, Hall has a lot of he's an older guy though. Like I think this is Ryan.
36 to.
Dude, if he gets him on the
32.
ground, it's over.
I don't know.
I would say he has the advantage, but I would not say it's over. Tuporia is, I'm pretty sure, a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and he had a 3-minute armbar in his last fight. I really like this kid, and there's a reason he is as high of a favorite as he is. He's good, and he's up and coming, and he's young.
So I won't be so quick to just say Ryan Hall gets him on the ground because he can win, because we don't know. Ryan Hall is a good jiu-jitsu wrestler, by the way. He's not like your typical I'm going to lay on my back and hope something happens type of guy. He's very active on the ground. I'm sure you've seen his fights.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows if fucking what's this guy's name?
Tuporia.
Taporia.
He could knock him out though.
He could.
He's great on standing, and he's good in jiu-jitsu.
Ryan Hall's
That's
good
why
with keeping his distance too, though. That's something to notice.
What's the reach for this fight? That'd be interesting. Ryan Hall has an 1.5 inch reach advantage, and he's also like an inch or two taller. This is a featherweight fight, just to remind you.
It's gonna be a good fight.
24 years
I
old.
really think-
I mean, I think he's young, man. I think
He's got a chance. Let's see it.
No, he's definitely got a chance. I just think this is a guy with a lot of experience. Definitely going to be a big test for sure.
I call this a
For
Ryan
both.
Hall fight.
I
But
think this is both of them. This is their hardest fight.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hall, you could definitely question that because I'm sure he's had harder jiu-jitsu fights before. But as far as a mixed martial arts
this
competition,
is fighting. It's different.
right? As far as a mixed martial arts competition, BJ Penn, Gray Maynard, Darren Elkins was a really good win for Ryan Hall. I will absolutely give that because Darren Elkins is a fucking savage. But yeah, I think this is going to be a good fight for either of them. And it's one of the most anticipated fights I see on this card. And there's quite a few. And it's in my top 3.
This is so.
Moving on to another fucking anticipated
This is
fight
another one I'm
in the
excited for.
prelims. Michelle Pereira. It might be Michael Pereira. Last time Dylan called me out. Yeah,
Yeah,
last time Dylan called me out, so Michelle. It's Michelle Pereira versus Nico Price. Welterweight fight. It's
This guy
super
This guy
interesting.
slaps people in the middle of the fight.
Michelle.
Michelle Pereira.
He's very active.
Yeah.
Capoeira background. It's kind of interesting to
He's
watch.
a big, scary dude.
I think the winner of this fight will get pushed into the top 15. That's how big of a fight this is.
Correct.
Nico Price coming off. He just had a win over someone.
The draw. Really.
Oh, he lost to Luque. That's what it was.
Chota Cerrone, yeah, and he was freaking out. He was like, "Yeah."
No, it was. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Price.
freaking out.
No, that was the fight that Price beats. Oh, that was the fight where in the middle he was.
They drew, dude.
He was so
Cerrone
happy.
was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
yeah." He was fucking draw.
Right. But
That makes you think, what's going on up here?
Yeah. Concussed. I like Pereira, dude. That guy's a
so Pereira on a 2-fight win streak against. He beat Callan Williams. Callan Williams is an up-and-comer in the welterweight division too. He's young. He's really good.
knocked him out.
And then
decision.
he had he had a victory against a no-namer.
Is that
He
case
lost to
qualification?
Diego Sanchez. Oh, he got disqualified against Diego Sanchez.
Eye poker.
He was kicking his ass too. Oh, he was kicking his ass.
I like this guy, man. I do.
He's interesting because he's just got a creative style. Like that capoeira shit's really fun to watch. He's doing like cartwheels and shit in the middle of the match.
Yeah.
But I think Michael Pereira is gonna win. I really like Michael Pereira. His
Okay.
kicks, his leg kicks are fucking lethal,
He's got
and
power.
his all-around kicks are nasty. Nico Price is just on the cusp, but I think that Pereira has his number.
I think at what the number's at, it's pretty good to hammer him.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the favorite. But I think he's gonna dominate him. I think he's gonna dominate him.
And
If
then-
you draw with, I can't put Pereira in the same category as Donald Cerrone right now. I think Pereira's a little better than Donald Cerrone in this point in time.
Yeah, right now I would say a little bit. It's a pretty good comparison though. Pereira is a little bit younger though too. He has some time to grow. He's only 27 years old.
Yeah.
Nico Price will have a 3-inch reach advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Pereira just a hair taller than Price.
Yeah. Leg kicks are gonna be huge.
All right. Carlos Condit is fucking coming back to the UFC at 37 years old. That's so sick to see. He's fighting Max Griffin. That should be a really good fight. And I would expect nothing less than a war standing
Yeah.
for this fight.
Technically, I think Conduit has the edge here, technically,
Mhm.
but Max Griffin has power.
Right. And you never know. Condit's gotten up there. He's been through so many wars. He could just take one uppercut and be flatlined.
Yeah. I'm never quick to say that, but, it's possible.
Right. Max Griffin does have some power. He's a big dude. It's just nostalgia's sake. Seeing Carlos Condit back in there is going to be really cool to see.
Always.
Yeah.
This isn't one of the ones that I was most excited for. This is one of the ones I'm more like, what the hell is this doing on the prelims?
Right.
It's not.
And we talked about that. The prelim selection is a little weird because you have all these great fights like a Tuporia, Ryan Hall for significance of a division. And then you have fights that we'll see later like Tuivasa Hardy that it's only up there because they have names.
Yeah.
And it's a heavyweight. I understand heavyweights sell more, whatever. But
Tuivasa, I feel like, is building a fan base. I feel like he is.
I think Tuivasa, we're going to get into Tuivasa in a minute,
Yeah.
but I think Tuivasa is a really slow starter. And I think the way his career is going has been very good. He hasn't won all his fights. He's lost a little bit, but he's kept his name out there and he's had some highlight reel knockouts. And he's still kind of young. He's not old by any means. He's 28. So he still has a lot of fights ahead of him. He's only 12-3, but we're going to get into that in a minute. So that is it for the prelims. Carlos Condit, Max Griffin is the last prelim fight of UFC 264.
Every person that Max Griffin's fought that's had a name has lost. So I'm going to slide with Condit.
I would definitely say Max Griffin.
I'm picking Condit.
We've been so indecisive about this
This whole
Yeah,
card.
I don't
this
know.
whole card.
Now
we can't
I'm
agree
kinda
on
indecisive.
anything. So Alex Oliveira beat Max
Hey,
Griffin.
we agree on Pereira.
Thiago Alves. Oh, you're saying everybody who has a name has beaten Max Griffin.
Beaten Max.
Got
Griffin.
it. Okay. Yeah, I would agree. He beat Mike Perry, but Mike Perry's overrated anyway.
Yeah, he is. He's just got the following.
Alex Moreno lost. Alex Pereira. You know what I mean?
All right, so we will be right back to talk about the main card of UFC 264, one of the best main cards we've seen in a while.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of good fights. We're probably going to see some knockouts in there too, which I'm most excited about. I don't think this is going to be a long main card. I really don't. With you got the O'Malley's, you got the heavyweights, you got Conor and Poirier,
Yeah.
and you got Thompson and Burns.
They want to knock out.
I think there's going to be a lot of knockouts. All right, so we will be getting right into that after this quick commercial break. You're watching
All right.
MMA Complete, brought to you by Naked Sports. Go check out nakedsports.com for all Yard Olympic information. Go check out our YouTube and Twitter, which is down in the description in the link right there, at @complete_MMA, MMA Complete Podcast on YouTube. We'll be right back. All right, main card for UFC 264. We talked about this last week, and go check out MMA Complete Podcast on YouTube to go check out our last podcast. It was our most successful podcast. It was a great time. We talked about everything, including our top 15 list of the greatest UFC GOATs of all time. So much fun. Great podcast. People loved it. Go check that out.
Good time.
It's the first one that we've done all these podcasts. The first one I've listened to, completely.
I've listened to a couple completely, but it is the first one that I
Enjoyed.
It's the first one I didn't have as background music. It's the first one that I actually watched.
Yeah.
Really watched.
Yeah.
And if we can do it and watch it, you can watch a little bit of it. I'm just saying. Shout out to Dylan and Colby. They couldn't be here, but they did give the top 15 list, which we do have on nakedsports.com. Shout out to them. They'll be there at the podcast, which we do this weekend for UFC 264. We live react to every UFC pay-per-view. We go 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. for the entire card. We talk about the bets that we do. We do a lot of bets, which we talk about on Twitter as well. So definitely come check out and tell us about your bets. Tell us who you think is going to win. It's a good time.
Are we going to go live a little? What time does the prelims start? Are we going to watch all the prelims?
Prelims start at 6 o'clock. Early prelims start at 6. Regular prelims start at 8.
Yeah.
So there is...
Check out our Twitter for that.
Right.
We might start a little
So
earlier.
early
Depends
prelims,
what
I'm not
everyone's
too
doing.
big into. If we miss it, I'm not going to be upset. The Akhmedov-Tavares fight, that's going to be a good one. That's all right one. But if we miss those, I'm not going to be too upset.
Yeah, Tavares is going to be a good one.
But we'll probably tweet him out anyway.
Yeah.
All right, main card. Sean O'Malley.
Here we go. By the way, this guy, Smile 2-0. We stepped up to fight him. Got signed for the UFC just for this fight.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He's from literally like a few minutes away, Far.
Right. He's from Fall River, Mass.
That's cool. We're rooting him on.
Second UFC fighter out of Fall River, Mass.
Yeah. Hopefully he does better than Jorgen De Castro.
Well, Jorgen did good. He just had a bad last fight.
Yeah.
And
But
on
yeah,
top of it,
Chris Moutinho 9-4 versus Sean O'Malley 13-1. Honestly, the most promotion I've seen of anybody on this card, including Connor, is Sean O'Malley.
yeah.
I've been seeing Sean O'Malley fucking everywhere on Twitter and Instagram
Yeah?
doing these promos. I've been seeing a lot of him.
Huh. I haven't. I've seen him. Like react to a couple things, but
Maybe it was also the fact, who was he supposed to originally fight? Louis Smolka.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
he would
supposed to
have
fight Smolka.
murdered him. He would have murdered him in the ring. It would have been.
I think
decapitation.
Smoka's a veteran. Like he's good on the ground. I think that would have been a good fight. Moutinho, you never know because he's such an oddity in the fact that we don't know much about him. I know we could find some stuff about him, but we haven't seen him fight, honestly.
Not in the UFC caliber, and
in a
that's
short
going to be
notice
interesting
too.
to find out.
What is he?
it
A
goes.
month short notice? Maybe 3 weeks short
Maybe
notice?
3 weeks.
9 days.
9?
No.
10 days.
No
dude.
way.
It's
Isn't it?
at least 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was. He was
I
announced.
thought this happened last week.
No.
Because I was tweeting about it.
It was like 2-3 weeks, I would say.
Yeah, at least 2 weeks.
But it is what it is. O'Malley is the heavy favorite. People aren't really giving credit to Moutinho, and maybe we should do a little bit more investigating on Moutinho. That could be our part.
I've watched some of his fights. He's an interesting fight. Looks like he's got good stand-up.
O'Malley has a 3-4 inch height advantage, as he does with everybody in the bantamweight division, and he has a 3-inch reach advantage.
Why are you so skinny, Sean O'Malley? That's a real question.
Whew, dude.
Get your weight up.
Smoking that reefer, man, gives him superpowers.
I think you'd make him eat more.
I think if Sean O'Malley wins this fight, he gets the rematch with Cheeto Vera.
That's a good thing to say.
I do think that Cheeto Vera coming off a win in the last pay-per-view or in the last fight night, something like that. It was a dominant win, too, against a no-namer. So I think both of them need it. O'Malley definitely needs a big fight. He definitely needs a big fight because he's fought not great people in his last couple fights.
Yeah.
And I get it. He's not even in the top 15, so he doesn't need to. But if he really wants to be serious about climbing that division, he needs to fight a big name. There's no bigger name than the only person you've lost to.
Mm-hmm.
And Cheeto Vera needs a big win, too. Cheeto Vera, I think...
now.
I think he
more publicity.
won his last fight and he got knocked out of the 15 for it because it just wasn't an impressive fight.
I'm gonna laugh when Bruce Buffer's calling him out and he goes 13-1 and he goes that to the camera.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking lose it. Like this dude needs to admit that at least lost.
And that's another big thing for O'Malley. You know, he could win all of his fights
But I
and
love
dominate him. But if his legs give out, we've seen both of his legs get fucked up in the past. That's a big thing for him.
But yeah.
We'll see how that goes. A lot of fighters have been able to recover from ACL tears and shit. Shockingly. But pretty impressive to repair from that kind of injury that's supposedly never supposed to heal right. So I won't write him off for his legs so soon, but if it is a continuous thing, he's either gonna have to get surgery or fucking strengthen his area. He'll have to get his weight up.
Yeah, he'll have to
Because I
move
think
up.
he might be too tall and too skinny for the fucking
but
muscles
if
in
he
his
gets
ankles to support.
right, but if he gets too beefier, that's even more weight that they have to support.
Yeah, but that's more muscle that they have.
He could just work his legs for a year and get fucking calves and thighs, and that could help. But at the end of the day, if you got lingering leg problems, that's something that doesn't go away easy. No matter how much training, no matter how much effort and surgery you put into, that's a lot of hard work.
I think O'Malley should move up a weight class. I really do.
Let me put it this way.
It's unsustainable when he gets old.
Who would he fight? Jan? Like Peter Jan? No,
I believe so. 145.
Yeah,
is what he'd be at.
he is in
135.
he's in Aljamain Sterling's weight class right now.
Oh,
That's
Piotr Jan,
That's
135.
135.
Okay.
Okay.
If he were to move up, he'd be in featherweight, which is Volkanovski, Holloway, them.
Even Holloway, I look at and I say
Holloway.
he's fucking tall for the division.
Yeah.
Right, but at the same time,
That'd
it's
be a great matchup.
there's a,
That's his
there's a
natural
reason
build,
these
though.
fighters don't fight at the weight class they should fight at.
Yeah.
It's because if you're fighting a guy who's supposed to be in featherweight and you're supposed to be in lightweight, but you drop down, now you have 2 inches of height and 3 inches of reach.
And probably some
And
cover.
more
And-
power. More
And
power.
when we go for the fight night, when you don't have to weigh in,
Way
you're
more.
10 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
And maybe it's also because your conditioning is. I'm not an expert on nutrition and what you need to do when you fight, so I don't know.
You're
So
not? I thought you were.
well, right. But I think O'Malley should stay at bantamweight.
For as long as you can.
I think he should. I think. Well, he's still
He's gonna-
fucking young. He's
He's
26.
26, man. Yeah.
So I think in time we could see him in featherweight. I think right now featherweight division's a little bit better than bantamweight.
Yeah.
Bantamweight's super hot, top heavy.
Like on the top 5.
You got Sterling, Jan, Sandhagen, Dillashaw, Garbrandt, and
Dillashaw hasn't fought
Font,
in 2 years.
Rob Font.
Yeah, Rob Font.
Who's the other one? Jose Aldo, Marlon Moraes, Pedro
Frankie
Munoz.
Frankie
Pedro Munoz is
Edgar.
the other
Dominic
one.
Cruz.
So that division is super top heavy. But when you look at featherweights, can you see O'Malley beating any of these people? Volkanovski, no. Holloway, no. Ortega, no.
Edson Barbosa,
Korean
yeah.
Zombie, potentially, probably not. Calvin Kattar, no. Dan Ige, maybe. Giga Chikadze, no. Bryce Mitchell's coming up there. Shane Burgos, no.
Bryce Mitchell's fighting at 155.
You think Edson Barbosa? Yeah, I think Edson Barbosa. That's a good fight.
Edson Barbosa, sure, he's older though. Like he's a
Yeah.
gatekeeper.
Wasn't
of that
Edson
division.
Barbosa just fighting at 155?
No, we had talked about how he always fought at lightweight, but he fought
Yeah.
Shane Burgos at featherweight.
I thought Bryce Mitchell was fighting at 155. I know I'm wrong. I'm a moron.
Edson Barbosa just got scheduled for him. He's gonna be fighting someone soon coming up. Let me find out.
It's good to see you because he had a great performance last time.
All right, so O'Malley's gonna win this fight, right? That's what we're all saying.
Nah.
You got
Fall,
Moutinho?
Fall River, baby.
Yeah,
and
okay.
Barbosa's
Spinning
gonna
back
fight.
fist knockout. Calling it now.
Second round.
Calling it now in the second round. Had a dream about it.
Got it.
Edson Barbosa is fighting Giga
Giga
Chikadze.
Chikadze?
Yeah.
Edson Barbosa?
Yeah, being finalized to head on UFC Fight Night in August.
That's interesting. That's real. I would say those two have very similar styles.
Styles, yeah.
Very similar styles.
I'm gonna go
Dude,
Chikadze, though.
Chikadze, I've only
Chikadze.
seen like 2 liver kick knockouts in my life. Chikadze, that was one of the hardest liver kicks I've ever seen when he got Cub Swanson.
Yeah.
That was in the same card as Reyes Prochazka.
Mm.
That was ridiculous. It was the first round, first 2 minutes, and he goes a 1-2, fakes the right hand, and gets a liver kick while Cub Swanson's covering his head. Cub Swanson's down, done.
Mm.
Perfect, beautiful precision. Something
Ugh.
we would have seen Connor do 8 years ago.
Ugh,
Beautiful.
it's beautiful.
Giga
Might be the
Chikadze, I
future.
think, yeah.
In
It
the
well, it
future.
depends, you
Not
know.
the
Once
future, but
he
future contender.
he fought Cub Swanson, who not for nothing is just old and has taken a lot of damage.
in and out, yeah.
And is used to being in wars with people who are going to punch him in the face. And now these new school fighters who have all the kicks and the new intricacies and the different kind of techniques, once he fights someone like that who has a similar stand-up pedigree,
yeah.
it'll be an interesting fight because we really haven't seen Chikadze take a punch.
Yeah.
Once we do, I think Chikadze could be up there in the featherweight division in some point too.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
anyway, we're getting off track. We only got like 10 more minutes. Irene Aldana versus Yana Kunitskaya is interesting because they're so closely suited. Tail of the tape, this says that Kunitskaya is 2 inches shorter. I don't think that's right. I think it's exactly the tail of the tape. I think they're both like 5'8", and they have the same reach, and they're the same weight, and it's like perfect mirroring.
Mhm.
Except Irene Aldana is, I want to say, like number 3 in her division. Irene Aldana is 4th in the bantamweight division. Kunitskaya is 5. And we're talking about Amanda Nunes territory
Dude,
here.
she's so
Yeah.
badass.
Mhm.
She's so badass.
She
Bantamweight
is.
and featherweight.
Mhm.
They
They don't even have a featherweight division
I know.
anymore because that's what Nunes is. She's a featherweight. She drops to make her bantamweight.
I know, it's awesome.
But Aldana, I have by a fraction of a percentage. I think Aldana's going to win. Aldana's a stand-up fighter. Kunitskaya is a Muay Thai fighter. So if it gets in the clinch, Kunitskaya has a really good shot. But Aldana, I want to say, in her last 2 fights have knockouts, which you don't see in women's divisions. I'm pretty sure that's Aldana. Oh, I'm totally wrong. Holly Holm beat her last year? Really? Am I thinking of Kunitskaya then?
You getting these fighters confused?
I might be.
I remember Kunitskaya fighting pretty recently.
So Kunitskaya had a decision win. She had 2 decision wins in her last 2 fights, and she lost to Aspen Ladd before that. And in one of her last 2 fights, Irene Aldana had a knockout.
Yeah.
I'm probably getting them confused a little bit. I do know Irene Aldana. She's been in the UFC for a couple years, and she's always been in that top 5 mark.
Yeah.
And you hate to see it with these 2 fighters
Mark,
because
get that.
Because
they're in Amanda
Top 5
Nunes'
Mark.
division. So no matter how good they are, they're not going to be champion. And that's not 100% true, but at the same time,
but it's Amanda Nunes territory.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
Who the fuck is stopping her in the next 3 years, 4 years?
Nobody.
the only way she loses her belt is if she retires.
I really think so.
Go check out the podcast last week if you want to see where we put Amanda Nunes in the top 15. It was higher than I thought.
I think it's deserving too.
I think it's I know it's deserving.
She's
but
a
I think
fucking
it's
dominant animal.
Dominant.
Deserved.
Dominant
she's
warrior.
the biggest savage in. She goes in there.
Women's fighting ever.
I don't give a fuck. She could be the biggest savage in the UFC right now, man or woman. She really could be because she finishes people in the first round in divisions, not for nothing, where people don't get finished.
Not a lot. No.
Shevchenko's in her last 2 fights didn't finish anyone. And we say that she's the greatest stand-up fighter, precision, technical-wise, whatever, in women's history. And Nunes finishes people. She armbars people, knocks them out. She knocks out fucking Cyborg.
I mean,
what?
You got to give credit to Rose a little bit.
And shout out UFC 265 coming to you live August 9th, where we will see Amanda Nunes versus Juliana Pena.
I think just solidifying her fucking legacy more.
Is it Pena?
Yeah,
This is
I
going
believe
to
it's
piss me
Pena.
off. Juliana Pena.
Yep.
Wow, the heavyweight championship interim belt between Derek Lewis and Cyril Gane is now the main event of that.
That's good to see.
You got Jose Aldo versus Pedro Munoz in the main card. Vicente Luque, Michael Chiesa.
Wow.
That's a good card. That's actually a good card right there. So.
Carolina Cavalcavage versus Jessica Payne. Casey Kenny, Song Yadong.
Casey Kenny.
Ooh.
You like him?
Alonzo
Yeah, I like
Mainfield. This has potential to be a really good card, too. Sandhagen Dillashaw's on the 24th.
Brendan Allen co-main event.
Makachev is going to destroy Thiago Moises, and we're going to see the return of Misha Tate next week.
Yeah.
Jeremy Stevens is fighting. Big underdog, Jeremy Stevens. Big underdog.
He finished a man by pushing him.
No. But
That's stare
anyway.
down. Finished a man by pushing him.
We gotta get this going. We got 3 fights left.
All right, let's go.
Tai Tuivasa versus Greg Hardy, heavyweight division.
We all like.
We all have Tai Tuivasa.
Exactly. We all like him.
Greg Hardy is a very interesting fighter. He's a great athlete. He's a big dude with a lot of power. But we saw in his last 2 fights, when he gets taken down, he's done.
Yeah.
It's just one of those aspects that when you're training for MMA for 3 years, you're just not going to hang with veterans.
And I
It don't
mainly
matter.
see him going for decision wins, too.
It don't matter.
Right.
If
He
you
He has
have-
1 or 2 knockouts, but he has like 4 decision wins.
Yeah.
Even if he has a background in fucking football, it don't matter.
Right. He's athletic. That's one
Oh,
thing.
hell yeah.
100%. But
What's his?
when you're
what's
fighting,
what's his peak? Like, you know what I mean?
his peak is like 20 in the UFC rankings.
No. Yeah, okay. That's what
Peak
you-
age.
His peak age, I think he's past his peak age. He's 32.
Yeah,
Tuivasa's 28.
Yeah.
Tuivasa, I like the way he was interviewed on what his plan is against Greg Hardy. He's like, yeah, he's very good with his striking, but I'm a big fat guy and I'm going to knock him out.
Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
Tai Tuivasa, Hawaiian-born.
Fast.
Is he a New Zealander or is he Australian?
Is he New Zealand? I thought he was Hawaiian.
No, New Zealand or Australian. I know because Robert Whitaker's like his boy.
Oh, word. Well, Robert Whitaker's Aussie. And
Yeah, Tai Tuivasa.
I would say that the winner of this fight will get in the top 15
As they
because
should,
they're
yeah.
both right on the cusp. I think Tuivasa deserves it more. I think right now Tuivasa's probably ranked a little higher than Hardy. But it'll be interesting to see what kind of improvements Hardy has made. If he's serious about his UFC career and he's been improving his wrestling and jiu-jitsu,
yeah,
and he goes out there and he beats Tai Tuivasa in all aspects, or more importantly, on the ground,
Game my respect.
that would be very
If
Game my
Greg
respect.
Hardy takes down Tuivasa
yeah.
and submits him, that would be a statement.
And Tuivasa's good on the ground, but
I don't
he
think
is a
Greg
stand-up
Hardy's doing
fighter.
that.
I don't know how good Tai Tuivasa's ground game is either, though.
He's good. I think Marcin Tybura just had a TKO against Greg Hardy, where he just took him down the whole time and he finished him on the ground.
Oh, so now
And Tuivasa, I'm pretty sure, has a submission win over Tybura years ago.
Okay,
but-
wow.
So yeah, that's an interesting fight. Heavyweights, they're gonna bang. They're probably gonna have a finish. This is probably the second finish of the main card with Sean O'Malley. I'm gonna say he's probably gonna finish Moutinho. And I'm
Spinning back fist by Moutinho, round 2.
Greg Hardy's just an anomaly in the fact that he's a big name in the sport that he shouldn't be a big name in.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see him fight.
Mm.
But I think Tai Tuivasa has
For a
this.
heavyweight, he doesn't have a ground game, and he doesn't have the knockout fucking
I'll tell you what.
record that heavyweights
We
have.
talked about Sean
Doesn't
O'Malley
have good
being the
technique.
biggest contender name to ever come out of the Contender Series. Greg Hardy's probably number 2.
Yeah.
Greg Hardy had a 10-second knockout in the Contender Series, and ever since then he's been in the UFC. And he has done
Chilling.
so much better than I thought Greg Hardy would have done.
Yeah.
What is he, 7-3 or something?
He's sitting pretty.
7-3 with 1 no contest. Way better than I
Yeah.
thought. And he's in the 3rd fight of a main card of a fucking Conor McGregor pay-per-view. Good for him, man.
Yeah.
Good for Greg Hardy.
Do
Yeah.
you guys want to get into this fucking next fight?
I am
I am
so
hyped for
ready.
this next
Yeah.
fight.
I'm so ready. We're
Are
going to
we
go
going-
a couple minutes over because we got
I
to talk
know,
about these 2 fights.
Yeah, we're gonna go over. I was gonna-
Burns
It'll be back.
versus Stephen Thompson.
Oh boy,
Oh fucking man.
let's talk about it.
Go
Okay.
Burns, go Burns, go Burns.
So we talked about
That's what you
all
think.
of the fights.
That's
In-
fair.
we-
What I had at first.
We talked about all these fights in order, and we talked about how this was the most conflicting we've ever been about a pay-per-view.
They're fucking hard fights. They
This
really
is
are.
the one fight that I cannot make a claim to. I said who I think's gonna win earlier. I'll probably say it again, but I'm like, I have no fucking clue.
I'm on the fence.
No
but
clue.
I have no idea.
Both of them have their strengths, but both of their strengths are in areas that the other guy's really good at.
Yeah.
Burns has the ground advantage, but Thompson's really good on the ground. He's underrated because he's a
defending
stand-up
off the
fighter,
ground, yeah.
but he's great on his back. Great. Stephen Thompson has the stand-up advantage because he's just a karate expert.
Distance is
One of the
amazing.
But Burns is really good,
Yeah.
and he has fucking power. We just saw him be the first person ever to knock down Kamaru Usman.
Yeah,
He's one of the most technical fighters in the division, Wonder Boy.
So Stephen Thompson in his career in UFC has lost to Tyron Woodley when Woodley was champ, beating everybody.
Yeah.
Darren Till and Anthony Pettis. That's
Anthony
it.
Pettis, the only one by KO. I
The
believe.
That's
Darren Till, I kind of put Gilbert Burns in that category as Darren Till. That's the one thing I do.
Yeah, but Darren Till's also taller and he has a bigger reach. Stephen Thompson's gonna have some fucking reach advantage in this fight,
Oh,
right?
Yeah, 100%.
He has a 4-inch reach advantage. I think it might be a
That's
little bigger.
big.
I think it might be a little bigger.
That is big for Wonder Boy, though.
Well, because Usman had like a 4-inch reach advantage. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Thompson's taller than Usman. I could be wrong.
I wouldn't say Masvidal, God bless. I wouldn't say that Thompson's a better striker than Usman, but a very, very different striker. And
I think
while his hands are down, his head movements are way better than Usman, I'd say.
We're going to see if Gilbert Burns can take a head kick. That's what we're going to see.
Yeah,
I almost guarantee that Stephen Thompson gets at least one kick
one
to Burns'
spinning
head.
kick to the head.
Even if it's not spinning, it could be a flat-footed crescent kick. Dude, Thompson has some of the best head kicks
I might have
ever.
I might have to go with Thompson. Man.
Thompson's
I don't know.
takedown
It's-
defense too.
But then you
Yeah.
look
Really
at Gilbert Burns, who has a black belt in jiu-jitsu and
World champion, right?
he is literally, you got Usman up there, you got Masvidal up there, but he might have the most power in the division.
Yeah, the way he landed on Usman was like, whoa, like a looping hook right to the jaw. It was nice.
Oof.
But after that,
But when you look at Gilbert Burns, right? So this is the fact that really, if you look at Gilbert Burns' record, Olivier Auburn Mercier, who you probably, I don't know if you know,
Never
but
heard
he's a Canadian fighter that was back in the day. He was actually pretty good, but he was old when he fought Burns, whatever. Gunnar Nelson, Damian Maia, Tyron Woodley, all got beaten, and some of them finished by Gilbert Burns. And then you go down, he lost to Dan Hooker, which is a great name to lose to.
Yeah.
And then he has 3 of his last 4 before that wins. So we're talking about a guy who has lost 3 times since 2016, one of them being to Kamaru Usman,
Mhm.
going up against a guy who's now 37.
Mm.
It's so interesting to see, like,
Gilbert Burns, I believe, is 36 years old.
is he that
Wonder
old?
Boy's 38, I believe.
Is he really that old?
How many punches?
34 Burns, 38 Thompson.
Okay.
How many punches do you think are thrown in this fight? Because I'm looking at Gilbert Burns' fights, and there's not a lot of punches thrown.
He's
You think
loaded. He's loaded for that power
Well,
shot.
because
Yeah.
we only saw the Burns. I mean, I saw the Burns Woodley fight, and that was a dominant performance. But we only saw the Burns Usman fight where they didn't go to the ground at all because they both know each other so well on the ground. They're both black belts, and so you look at Thompson, and I guarantee you, look, Thompson's going to be able to defend himself well. He's going to stuff a takedown. He's going to be taken down and get back up, and it's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, Burns is going to challenge his ground game.
Oh yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Why, if you are a jiu-jitsu fighter, and he's a stand-up fighter, but Burns is a jiu-jitsu fider who's fighting a karate fighter, why the fuck wouldn't you try to take him down 7 times?
The longer
That's
the longer the fight goes, the easier it will be to take him down too.
I'd
Yes
argue
and no,
different.
Thompson has really good cardio.
Yeah.
Really fucking good cardio.
Yeah, I'd
and he's
argue
been in a
different
lot of
myself.
fights where people try to take him down, and he does stuff a lot of takedowns.
It's the main thing for that's the threat for him is with a grappler fighter. That's his defense. Prevent the takedown.
And here's the one reason. I said I didn't know if I was going to say it. I'm hesitantly and very barely picking Burns in this fight.
Okay.
Because if this fight was more on the ground, I would give it to Burns. if this fight is more standing, which I think it will be, I got it like 50-50. Like Thompson
Really?
might have a little bit of an edge standing, but I got a 50-50. So when you incorporate the fact that Burns probably better on the ground and he's right there with standing, I don't want to pick somebody, but I would pick Burns.
All right.
Well, you see, like with a lot of these fighters that get knocked out in their previous fight and try and come back quick, like
It's not
and
too
they've
quick.
been and
It's
he's been
5
sparring
months.
too. Yeah. I don't know. Man, it's fucking tough. It's 50-50, man. I think I'm gonna go Stephen Thompson. I think I'm gonna change.
I will say this about Stephen Thompson. I don't know if he deserves to be as highly ranked as he is right now. He's a great fighter, but
That's what I think too.
he's the 4th ranked welterweight in the world. Welterweight is a fucking stacked division. He's above Luque, who he beat 2 years ago. Well, Luque's gotten better in 2 years. So Michael Chiesa, Jorge Masvidal, and Neil Magny. I could see him being below all of them.
Now,
I really could. Because if you look at his last couple fights, he lost to Till and Pettis, and then he beat Luque and Jeff Neal.
The Pettis loss is what gets me, like, because I'm like,
Right.
Anthony Pettis.
that was a
I don't know.
lucky. That
It
I'm
was,
not-
it was
I'm-
the Superman punch,
yeah,
right?
I'm calling that one a lucky one.
Yeah.
Like it was
Yeah.
just a shock knockout.
It was a Superman punch.
Off the cage.
Stephen Thompson does Twitch.
commentary. On
Yeah. And so he talked about that fight where he was winning the fight, and then Pettis had a flying Superman off the cage
it was beautiful.
and just dropped Thompson. Dropped him right on the button. Perfect.
He went stiff as a board.
Mhm.
The first time in his career.
It's the
by
only
way.
time he's ever been knocked out.
Like in karate too.
All right, so he's not gonna get knocked out. Oh, all right.
He's
He's not gonna get knocked out.
probably
It's possible.
He's
Oh, it's
probably
possible?
not. Oh, it's possible.
Oh, it's possible, but I'm just saying what I'm looking at in his career. A lucky Superman punch is the only one.
I will say this.
I don't think he's gonna get knocked out, man.
Kamaru Usman was closest to getting knocked out by Gilbert Burns. It's not even
Okay.
close. The closest person to have ever come to knocking out. I mean, Jorge had a punch or two that were
Colby.
all right. Colby didn't almost knock him out.
Colby had a
Colby
fight.
would have beaten him by points.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Burns dropped him with an over. I think it was an overhand.
Yeah,
Was it a hook?
It caught him with an overhand.
Right.
But it was perfect, and Usman badass recovered.
So Thompson is older.
Hey, Thompson's having a big step up in competition too, man.
Well, Luque's up there. The Luque win is impressive for Thompson. Jeff Neal is all right. Yeah, Jeff Neal's a world-class fighter. I'm not saying anything
Luque
against
is
him.
coming up for that title soon.
Yes. Luque's 5 right now.
Yeah.
And the only reason he's 5 is because he lost to Thompson 2 years ago.
Just Von Flute choked fucking Woodley. Final career.
And we
Woodley's
just
career.
saw Luque's fighting. Was it Luque fighting Aldo at 265? Was that who it was? Yeah. Oh, no. Luque Chiesa. I think Luque beats Chiesa, by the way. All right.
I mean, let's see what.
Last comments on Burns Thompson. Who you guys?
I got Thompson just because I believe he can stuff the takedowns of Burns, and I'm not going to go with surprise knockout over
You
precision.
think it's decision?
I think it's precision. Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
That's the numbers.
Yeah.
Decision.
That's the
Stephen
numbers.
Wonderboy.
What do you think?
It's
I have Gilbert Burns.
By decision or knockout or submission.
I would say Gilbert.
I have
Burns by
Gilbert
decision.
Burns by decision.
Okay. By
3-round fight.
ground control.
I've
Time.
already
Three-round
changed
fight.
my mind this time, and I'm going to stick to what I said. Gilbert Burns by decision. I think he's going to keep him on the ground. I think he's going to be able to work him in the clinch. Thompson's not going to be able to use his reach advantage or his kicks.
I think Thompson will use his reach advantage. I definitely think he will.
I think, well, he's going to have to, but I don't think he's going to be able to if he has him on the ground or he has him in a
But that
clinch.
for someone who's that great at karate and kicking to have that reach advantage is very big. Just saying.
It's just a different style.
I'm
than
just looking to
Usman.
see how this
He
guy's going to
fights
win the
a-
fight.
I agree with you. I think Burns is
you know,
gonna win.
this is what he's going to have
Yeah.
to do is
Here's
not
his
have him
stance.
use that.
Right.
He
reach
literally
advantage.
stands like this. He doesn't
No.
up here. He's Wonderboy is
Yeah.
punch.
Right.
That's the style.
Yeah.
Sorry for the chair, everybody.
You're good.
But that's my say.
All right, guys. Here we go. This is what everybody came for. All 4 of you.
Thank you, sir.
Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier, the trilogy. I'm the only one of the MMA Complete crew that thinks Dustin Poirier is going to win, and I am arguably the most confident in my pick of anybody. I give Dustin Poirier an 80% chance of winning.
So that means 100% Connor. Because you're that confident. I give it to Connor.
I ain't Colby.
Just by
I
the
ain't
laws of
Colby.
nature.
You're pretty
I
close.
want to know who Colby's
Pretty-
picking.
Yeah, that's a good question. He's definitely picking Connor.
Yeah, he definitely said Connor. But
Scary, but
85?
he did-
85%?
99.
Right, right.
no, I gotta go with Connor, man. It's power, dude. Fuck, I don't know. Connor. Just cause.
I'm
Just
sure you
cause.
remember me giving my reasons 100 times on this
Mhm.
podcast since the fucking knockout of Conor
Mhm.
McGregor.
Mhm.
I think Conor should be able to adjust to those standards. And I think if Poirier can take him down, I don't see him holding Conor there.
Mm.
So it's going to come to a banger on the stand-up, and I think Conor has Poirier slightly outmatched. If he can fix the check situation, center the octagon, and change up his stance into a longer style and integrate his kick some more.
I'm gonna say this because I've been mulling over. I haven't been mulling over Poirier at all. I've been mulling over how I was going to tell you this today. I've been thinking about this for the last 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
The biggest aspect to me, the reason I think Poirier is going to win, is
Okay.
because I would ask you guys this one question: who is tougher?
Look, dude, it's Poirier. Yeah.
McGregor.
It's got to be Poirier.
I've seen Poirier in some garbage brawls, dude. Like fucking with
that Dan
Khabib.
Hooker fight,
Dude, Gaethje? He outlasted Gaethje.
he knocked him the fuck out.
Yeah.
No, he didn't knock him out. He TKO'd him.
But that, I count that as a knockout. Like,
Right.
You don't gotta be tough against McGregor though. He can knock you out in 1-2 punches.
That's the thing.
We saw a left hook hit Poirier right on the fucking chin,
it
and
wobbled.
Poirier just went like that.
No.
I don't know. Poirier
Zach,
said he
if
got
you
It
Right.
wobbled
Watch
him.
that.
Yes, it wobbled
He
him.
recovered
Absolutely.
great, though. He showed
Right.
he did the right thing in pushing Conor away with his actions.
Right.
It was a good move.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I see Conor.
I
winning
do
in the
think that
first.
Conor's going to be coming in much more motivated. I think he's going to come in with a game plan. He's going to come in focused. But who's to say that he didn't come in the second fight? Like, we
Connor-
can say it now
Connor in
because
the
he got
second.
knocked out.
Connor in the second. Connor in the second.
Here's my
round.
second part.
Go with GSP.
Here's my second part.
That's a good person.
After the second round, do you guys think Conor can still win? If it goes into the third, fourth, fifth
I
round?
think he can win. Because we've seen him outlast Nate Diaz. Well, not outlast him, but he did outplay
Not for
him.
nothing, but we saw him outlast Nate Diaz 4 years ago.
Yeah, but still, it's a thing. And he was already rich then.
He was rich, but he wasn't Floyd rich.
No, but he did. He had proper 12 4 years ago.
Yeah, he was rich. Yeah, 100%.
He was rich.
So I think I don't think it's all about
But
the
he's
money.
been rich since 2013. Like, come on.
You guys-
Fuck us. That's
Right.
nuts.
When we were fucking going to math class, Conor McGregor was swimming in money.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was doing that exact thing right there.
That
Going in
shit.
front of Eddie Alvarez.
A little throwback right there. But I got my pick at Conor
Mhm.
where it stands
Yeah,
for those reasons.
I think he's gonna clock him. I think he's just gonna hit him right on the money,
Mhm.
right on the money. And I wouldn't be surprised if Connor throws more kicks. Because why wouldn't he use that advantage if he knows now that is a tool? McGregor's the type of person to use that.
It's an interesting point to say that the calf kick became prominent when Conor was not in the UFC. It's very interesting to talk
I
about
feel like
that.
it was in the beginning stages when he was in the
It was in the
UFC.
beginning stages, but the fact that the way
More
it
used.
developed,
More used when he was
the way it developed, it was like, oh, calf kick's a thing. Oh, it's kind of becoming a thing. Oh my God, it's like super effective. And Conor was not there for that part. He was there when it was kind of becoming a thing. Benson Henderson's one of the first
KG.
people to do it. Benson Henderson was like 2016. That's when Conor just won the belt.
Justin Gaethje uses that.
So I just want to say this
so-
real quick. The last time Dustin Poirier was knocked out, September of 2016 by Michael Johnson in the first round.
Really?
That is the only time besides Conor McGregor in the first fight that Dustin Poirier has been knocked out.
Yeah, Dustin Poirier, I definitely give him the edge in toughness for lasting longer into the deep fucking waters. And he keeps a high tempo into the later rounds too, which is big.
I will say this. If Conor gets gassed in the second round, the fight's fucking
He's
over.
not getting cast in the second round.
I think he knows better now. He's had it. That's one thing I think his experience is showing him, like, dude, you can't fucking expend yourself early. That the Diaz fight's taught him that, I believe. And
Maybe he's more patient and he keeps his distance more.
I don't
You
know.
know, and it
I'm
goes- and he
interested
wants
in
it to go
seeing how
later
it plays
than
out. I really am.
I'm super interested. I think this is going to be a great fight. I really do. You guys have gotten the gist of what I usually predict, and it's usually like this guy.
where's
All
that-
right, I'm gonna pick this guy down.
Where's that Dustin Poirier hot sauce? That's the question.
Bro, I have never
We've
been
been slacking.
I know we did.
the only guy I have been this big on from the start of the announce of the fight to the fight is Jack
Brock
Hermanson.
Lesnar.
Jack Hermanson, like
And
3
he
weeks
almost
ago.
lost that shit.
No, he didn't. He
He almost
fucked
lost
up
that shit.
Shabazian.
He almost lost.
Fucked up Shabazian. But it was Yao Xiaonan. That's a different story.
We don't talk about Yao Xiaonan.
But dude, I've been on Poirier ever since the second fight happened. I'm like, no, Poirier's gonna fuck him up. It's not gonna fuck him up. And I honestly can see Poirier winning by decision. I think that's how it is. It's either submission in the third or fourth round, or it's decision. That's how I
you
think this is
hammering
gonna
him?
happen.
I'm just interested
Yes.
in the fight.
Poirier, you're hammering?
Yes, I already have
Oh, no.
2 units on it.
Oh boy. Well, Zach,
Damn.
I have
luck.
2 units.
good
I
luck in your
have-
pick.
I have a parlay that I did in fucking May.
Oh, God, no.
No. I have like Adesanya beating Vittori. I have Sterling beating Jan. I have Poirier beating McGregor, and one other fight, and it's like the only
Zach,
one I need
what are
left.
the odds?
Good, really good.
Let me see what
It's in my
figures.
car.
Oh,
All right. So I bet
3 units? 30.
kind of defeats the purpose of doing this. I will win.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
good for you.
yeah.
If
And I
Poirier-
put it in like fucking 2.5 months ago.
Well, I hope Poirier
I
wins
hope,
for
that, I
Zach's
hope he
case.
fucking wins.
But-
For you.
I think McGregor's going to win. That's going to be a sweat.
Yeah, that is gonna be a sweat. But I've already put some bets on this. I don't think I'm gonna put any more.
Yeah, no.
I think I have.
No, it's okay.
I think I have 2 units, and I'm pretty sure they all have Poirier. Like I have like 4 parlays, and they all have Poirier.
Oh, boy.
and I have Poirier
Zach.
by decision on one.
You can't
Hey,
put
we've
all your
learned.
horses in one bag. You can't put all your horses in one bag.
We've learned. We've been
Dude,
down that road.
this is the most confident I've been
All
about a
right,
guy.
it's all right. It's your choice.
I gotta go for it.
Respect.
I gotta go for it because you know what? If he does win,
What, then
Laughing
the
at the
fight's
bank.
ended.
Taken to the
Laughing? What do you mean?
laughing to the bank.
Thank you, sir.
I got Tuivasa. I have Sean O'Malley. I think I have one with Gilbert Burns.
Okay.
I have Sandhagen next week and Makachev next week.
Yeah, that's what I
Or
said.
Sandhagen in 2 weeks, Makachev
Dude,
next week.
I
Those
might
are
hammer
probably-
Makachev. I might hammer him because I don't see him losing anytime
Probably
soon.
should.
Oh,
hammer
he's
Makachev.
definitely
He's a
he's
fucking
fighting
animal.
Thiago Moises.
Yeah, he's destroying him.
Damn. All right, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get out of here.
A lot
Check
of bets
out
going down.
UFC 264 live stream. We're gonna be doing it wherever you're watching this now. NakedSports.com, FansOnlySports.com, MMA Complete Podcast. We're gonna be doing it on Fans Only YouTube, Fans Only Twitch, Fans Only Tinder. I don't know. We're gonna do it everywhere.
Fans
Check out
only.
UFC 264 live reactions at MMA Complete. Go check out our YouTube, MMA Complete Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at complete_MMA. Every Thursday, 8 p.m.
Every Thursday, the Twitter is popping now.
Yeah, the Twitter's popping. Make sure you go follow us.
Don't
we're gonna
forget to check out the podcast 53. The fucking
What I want
top
to start
50.
Yeah,
doing
go
is
check out that podcast.
linking your articles to the
Oh, I should
Twitter.
do that. Yeah, I should do that.
and yeah,
And
check
go
out the
follow
Twitter.
go follow Naked Sports for Yard Olympics information coming this Saturday, the day of fucking UFC 264.
The
So
day
that's
of
gonna be. I'm gonna be so busy that day. I'm gonna be so fucking busy.
Bro,
It's gonna be a great
You gotta
day.
tell Ron that you gotta be back here for the fucking fight.
Oh, it ends at 4.
We gotta be back.
It
Here.
ends at 4.
This is
We're going to
like-
Dylan's, by the way.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, if the weather's good, we're going to Dylan's.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Ron will be there if you're watching. We're gonna win.
Yeah, we're gonna win. They're
Well,
gonna win.
I'm gonna win.
They're gonna win. All right, guys, we're out of here. Check out UFC
gonna be a great
264
time.
live
Take it back,
reactions and
Austin.
go to
Take it
nakedsports.com. Thank everybody for tuning in. We'll see you in
Yeah.
2 days, and then we'll see you Thursday at 8
Check
p.m.
out our bets on Twitter as well.
Absolutely.
See ya.
At complete_MMA.
Yep.